Welcome to Cabrillo Marine Aquarium's virtual squid dissection. My name is Alfonso Montiel. I'm an educator here at the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium. Let's get started with the dissection.
We're going to start off with looking at the external anatomy of this market squid. Now, a scientific name for market squid is Doryteuthis opalescens. And that's what we'll be taking a closer look at today. Just my light source just a tiny bit. All right, and we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to actually place this squid with its dorsal side down. Dorsal meaning the back side of it, and the ventral side will be up. The ventral side is usually lighter. The dorsal side is a darker color, as you can see here. Now, what we'll be looking at is, we'll start off with the head. So here we have the head of the squid. So here is the head, and attached to that, we have all of the arms and tentacles. So you should have two tentacles. They're located here. So we have one. Move that up this way. And here's the second one. That is two. And hopefully if they were intact, you would see that they have no suction cups all along the edge, but they do have them at the very tip. And these are used to gather prey. They reach out, catch prey, pull them into the arms, which are covered in suction cups, and then they're able to be taken into the mouth. Now, here we see that we have 8 arms. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, there's 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 arms total. The arms are covered in suction cups, as you can see. All along, you might be able to have or feel a little bit of the suction if you touch these tentacles. Right over here, the arms, excuse me, you touch the arms, you might feel a little bit of the suction there if you touch the suction cups on the arms. So what we have here, this long portion, looks like an arrow. This is the mantle. You can see the mantle has sort of what looks like freckles on them. And those freckles are called chromatophores. And these chromatophores are pigment cells. And as you can see, as I rub the chromatophores or the pigment cells, they expand, exposing more of the color. So in doing so, I'm spreading them out or kind of increasing the surface area that they cover. And that's how it changes color. So these expand and contract, show more color, allows them to blend into their habitat a little bit, as well as communicate with each other. So this mantle is actually quite strong. As you can see, it goes all the way inside here, and it fills up with water. And when it wants to jet away, it can actually close in and push the water out through this other muscular part called the siphon. So this section here is called the siphon. As you can see, it goes right through. The mantle is able to close in on it and push the water and focus the stream right out of this mantle. This is also where it would shoot out the ink if it needed to escape. Then it has inside, which we will explore when we get to the internal anatomy. We also see the fins. So you have these 2 fins. They're used to steer left and right when they're swimming really quickly. And also they wave them about to kind of swim in place as well. It's pretty cool to see them swimming around the water. Found the siphon. Now to take a closer look at where the mouth is, we'll look at the mouth now. So the mouth is located right inside the base of all of these arms. So as we lift up the head, you can see there's a dark spot right in the center there. That is the mouth. I'm going to zoom in on that. There is the mouth. And that dark part is the beak. So I'm going to attempt to push the beak out by gently squeezing the head, and there we have it. So there is the beak surrounded by the buccal mass. Focus that. So there's the beak inside the buccal mass. And consists of two parts that do resemble a bird beak. There's one piece. It's a little slippery, and there's the other. So these pieces, there's one. Seem to have lost the other one. Oh, it's the other one. Let's see, how can I? It's down here. Show that they look like a bird beak. So these are the two pieces that form the mouth. Looks just like a bird beak. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom back out again. I'm going to flip the squid over. Let's put these aside. To the darker side of the squid. So that'll be the dorsal side. Okay, so here we have the dorsal side of the squid. You can see that there's a lot more pigmentation, right? And as I spread those chromatophores out, the squid gets a little darker. You can see that change happen as I rub the back of the squid, spreading out the pigment that is held in the chromatophores. And you can see how that can change rather quickly as that moves around. So I'll do this to one side of the squid so you can see the difference. Basically spread out the pigment on one side, and on the other, you can see it remains the same. So the part we're going to look at here is runs along this dorsal side here and comes to this point, and that's called the pen. So the pen is the remnant shell of the squid. And we are going to attempt to remove it intact. So I'm going to pinch this tissue at this tip and attempt to pull it. Should be able to gently remove it and get it out intact. There we go. So this pen was running alongside the top here of the mantle. So now that it's removed, the squid is less rigid. So now it's not rigid at all. That helped it stay rigid and protect the internal organs of the squid. So now the pen is out. It's been removed. Okay, remove this aside. Use that later. I'm going to go ahead and now flip over the squid back onto its dorsal side, the ventral side facing up. And I'm going to try to zoom in a tiny bit. Okay, that's good. Now, using my scissors, I'm going to go inside the mantle, lifting upwards like so, and make my incision all the way up to the top, posterior side of the mantle. We have a male squid. So we have the spermatophores, testes here. And then now our testes are located back here. Go ahead and spread open the mantle to get a look at the internal organs. And right away, I can see that this is a female. Now, the indamental gland here, this is responsible for creating the squid fingers or coating the eggs so they become, or they look like squid fingers. So here are all the eggs, the ovary here. And here's where the eggs are produced. They're pushed through this, and they create a casing. This gland creates a casing, and they're able to deposit them into the sand. We have the ink sac that we can see. We also have these gills. There's paired gills along the side of the body. So gills on either side, they use those to breathe, transfer oxygen from the water into their circulatory system. They have 3 hearts, so 1 heart on either end of the gills, and a central heart that's a little more difficult to see, called the systemic heart. So that's the 3 hearts that they have. Okay. We also have this silvery colored organ here in the middle. That silvery colored organ is the ink sac. You can see there, it's full of ink. You can see how it's attached. And the ink would actually release through the siphon since it terminates right in here. Right. So to remove the ink sac, yes, you could. It's like we ruptured a little bit of it. Tease away at it this way. Connective tissue comes off. And there you have it. The ink sac. So if you were to cut that open, the ink would spill around. Let's see exactly how much ink is actually in there. It's quite a bit of it. So with that ink, it's used for protection, and it creates it from the food that it eats. See, it's rather dark. Dark pigment makes a nice cloud and tries to escape from potential predators. So you can use the pen to dip in the ink and perhaps write your name. I'll write CMA. Oops. It's not that easy. You can see how you can transfer some of this ink using your pen. All right. Now we're going to move on to looking for a lens in the eye. So here is the eye. I'm going to center it so we can get a good look at it. There's also pigment in the eye. So when we pierce it, pigment will come out and we'll get a good look at the lens. So I tend to just cut across, make an opening large enough to allow the lens to escape. Oops. There we have the lens. Oops. There's a lens. Nice round sphere. It's clear. You have to be round like this to be able to see underwater. It's a really cool looking lens. Clean it up a little bit. And you'll see that it's a nice clear round sphere. Since we have two eyes, let's go ahead and take a look at the second lens or second eye and remove it. Once again, same procedure. Focus on the eye. Perfect. Make an incision across. Allowing the pigment to come out. Applying slight pressure. Oops. Looks like I lost that one. Oh, there's a lens. All right. So that concludes our dissection to all the parts we can look at on this guy. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.